All right. We're live here again. Sorry for the delay. We had some technical difficulties, but we are here. We're excited for the special guest that we're about to have on here. Lily and I personally know him. I've gotten to know him for the past couple of years. Such a humble guy. Very, very smart. Go to him for some advice, some health tips. Definitely highly recommended. And this guy has walked over 2,000 miles. Now that's what I want to hear about. Because to me, that's pretty insane, right?
Yes, definitely. It's going to be amazing. We're super honored that we're gonna be able to have him today with us. And I look up to him. He's amazing. He's a great guy. You can just be around him and learn a lot of things, just from him walking around you. So it's pretty amazing to be able to have him today. Very, very nice guy. Great father, great friend, he's just an amazing person, and we're super honored to have him here tonight.
We sure are.
And we're just talking about health. It's so important, and we're just excited that he'll be able to share with us tonight. So
yes. Let's get Rick on here, and enough of us talking. We do focus on the balance concept quite a bit. And we're going to hear from Rick himself, his story, how he started on his health journey, why, and how the balanced products has impacted his life. All right, so I'm getting on here. Yes. We are live. Here's Rick Posada. Welcome to the live. It is great to have you here. We appreciate you. How you doing, Rick?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Appreciate you guys having me tonight. Looking forward to our conversation.
Yeah, it's great to have you. I mean, Lily and I have been talking here. We're like, we got to get Rick on. All these things he's been doing for his health. But I want to hear about your story. Some people want to hear about what you've been doing for yourself. Why you've been on this 20 plus whole year journey. How did that even started?
Yeah, it's something that I am passionate about is health. It's one of the pillars of our life, right?
Yes.
If you got your health right, you're way ahead of the game. Yeah. So, I can go into it and tell you a little bit about my background, but I said, once again, it's good to be with you guys. Certainly. Happy to share. And I really always talk about it in a holistic way, right? Because there isn't any just one way that you approach good health. It has to be a complete approach. There are no real shortcuts. I'd love to talk about that with you guys tonight.
Great. How about you start off here with sharing a little bit about yourself, who you are, your background a little bit. You have family, wife, children.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. If you're going to be passionate about things, your family is the first thing that you should talk about. Right. But so I'm, married for 34 years, which is kind of hard to believe, to Sonia. So very, very happy about that. We together have 4 kids, Stephanie, Stephen, Melissa, and Jacob. So we've one of the things we've always done is just instilled some very fundamental things with them. One is faith, another one is education, and then one of those very pillars in life is health. I'm very happy to say all my kids are very healthy. They've all found their thing in terms of how they stay healthy. They're all very critical about what they eat, and they all have a different sport or activity that they do. But so I've worked in high tech for 30 something years.
Okay.
In compact computers, Hewlett Packard, and I'm doing a short stint now with Microsoft. Nice. So I'm kind of a supply chain guy. I think a lot of people have learned in the last 2 years what supply chain is. because of all the disruptions. So so it's a little bit about me. I started running in 1999 after having gained a significant amount of weight in the first 10 years of my marriage.
Okay.
And we went on a diet, and it was one of those fat diets.
Yeah.
But I wanted a way to maintain it. I said, I want to lose this weight, and I don't want to be that guy that goes right back to his weight a year later. So I started running, and I discovered that I liked long distance running, and have run multiple marathons every year for the last 20 plus years. So I counted recently, and it's been over 50. Yeah. A marathon is 26.2 miles. So I've run over 50 that are more than 26 or more, right? I've done a 50K, 50 miler, 100 miler. You always just trying to look for that next big goal, the next big distance. And then I think I told you, I've shared with you that last year, as I was looking for that next big adventure, I started hiking the Pacific Crest Trail. Hiking contains, carrying everything that you need on your back in a backpack, about 32 pounds. And just started walking from the border of Mexico at Campo, California, and I started walking north. And I think the flyer said 2,000. It was more like 1,200 miles.
Okay.
But I walked north all the way up to into what's called the Sierra, the High Sierra in California. I didn't finish. I hope to finish maybe next year, and finish the last 1,400 miles all the way up to the Canadian border. But I've always been into long distance events, and it all comes from the desire to really challenge yourself and to find the next big goal, and really to connect it all the way back is to try to be healthy. It's to try to live a healthy life.
Yes.
But that's a little bit about me, work, my wife, my children, and then one of my passions is just really being active.
That's great.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. So you mentioned when you started to run, that was your motivation because you wanted to lose weight, correct?
Yeah.
So
and maintain it.
Maintain it. And after running for quite some time, when did you do your first marathon, and how did that go?
I did my first marathon that first year in the year 2000.
Yeah.
And I was hooked. I was like, wow, this is. It just there's just a whole life around it, right? There's community, there's friendship, there's challenge. You're always looking at the clock, saying, "I can do better. I can do better. I can do better." So I did my first marathon in the year 2000, and like I said, I've been doing a marathon almost every year, multiple marathons every year.
Wow.
And in some years 3 or 4. And it's just been a little bit of an addiction, I think.
That's a good addiction to have.
Yeah. If you're gonna have one, that's not a bad one to have.
Great. Yeah, definitely. We have some people tuning in here. Quite a bit of viewers hopping on. Daisy's watching. Maria's watching. Angela from Minnesota. A few people here from the Valley. More people are just logging in. And people do want to hear about your story. I've been getting some messages, and they're like, really? 2,000? Where did he start from? How did he do that? And
let me just talk a little bit about that.
Go right ahead.
There's in the United States, there's 3 what they call long trails.
Okay.
And they all go from the southern border all the way up to Canada. So there's the oldest trail is called the Appalachian Trail. Some people call it Appalachian Trail. And that goes from Georgia all the way up to Maine. And that's 2,200 miles. In the middle of the country, there's the Continental Divide Trail, the CDT. And that goes from New Mexico, Arizona area, all the way up to Montana. And you hike all through Colorado and Wyoming and Montana, New Mexico.
Yeah.
And then with the one I hiked is the Pacific Crest Trail, which is primarily in California, 1,700 miles in California. And then you do 500 miles in Oregon and another 450 miles in Washington until you reach the border. But I think you said it in your. I love the Pacific Crest Trail because you get desert, you get high mountains, you get snow, you get the flat forests of Oregon, and then you get the northern Cascades in Washington, which are also high mountains and beautiful. And throughout the walk, you see all the animals. You see the fox, you see the bobcats, you see the bears, mountain lions. So it's really incredible to just be out there and just take part in nature. I just really believe it's where we're at our most natural. When you're in nature, when you're in the outdoors, and when you're out there, you're having to find your water every day. And every day is about finding water, because you're consuming about 4 liters of water every day, and you have to find it along the way in creeks and rivers and springs and other things like that. So it's just fascinating to get a lot more natural and to get back to basics of just surviving every day in terms of what water you need, what food you're carrying on your back, and being alone for days at a time and things like that. It's just fascinating. I just wish that on everyone. I wish everyone could and was able to do that. But there are places like in the Sierra when you're walking 50, 60, 80 miles and you realize very few people will ever be there because they have to walk 60, 80 miles to get there, and to be in the isolation in the John Muir wilderness. It's just an amazing thing. You can tell I'm a little bit passionate about this. It's just really something that I started doing a couple of years ago, and I'm just fascinated with the outdoor life and just being, out in the mountains for 5, 6, 7 days at a time until you have to come back for supplies. But that's and I found out that your body can do a lot, but it needs a lot, and we need to feed it properly, and we need to take care of ourselves, because when you demand that much of your body, either running marathons, ultra marathons, or doing long hikes, your body just it'll break down if you don't take care of it. And I think that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today, right?
Yeah, we'll dive into that a little bit. I know you've been on it's a whole 20 plus years, so you've been doing a lot with nutrition, or have you gone on specific diets, or what are you doing to maintain that? Because some people, they'll go on a diet, but it only lasts for a couple months and then they fall off of it.
I think it's important to make when you're approaching your health is to make permanent changes that can sustain you, that can sustain the long run, that you are completely confident that you are doing the right things that have long-term benefit. For me, that's just always been staying very active. Staying active, whether it's running or hiking or playing sports and things like that. There is a limit to that. But to me, nutrition has always been very important, but I haven't always understood it. I knew that I needed to eat better. I knew that, eating more vegetables or more fruits and was a good thing. But when you're younger, you think, well, I'll just do without it. But I've learned over the years of demanding a lot of my body that you really, the physical exercise, it's only half the battle. There's 2 halves. Half is physical and the other half is nutrition. I have to admit, I've always neglected the nutrition part. Because I thought, I'll just run. And matter of fact, I run because I want to go eat a bunch of tacos after, later in the day. I want to go have a burger. I want to, have anything I want to have. And that's why I run. That has its limits. It really does, because it's like putting bad gasoline in your car, right? It'll run for a while. It may run, it may sputter a little bit and eventually go, but eventually you will damage the car. If you put bad gasoline or diluted gasoline, or somebody puts water in your tank, it will damage the engine eventually. It'll run, but eventually it gets corrosion and other things. And that's the way I look at it. And that's where my newest discovery has to do with nutrition is the other half of the training. I wish I had discovered it a lot sooner, because I think, I don't know, a lot of my running was competitive, meaning I was trying to beat my previous times. I was trying to qualify for Boston. I was trying to win my age group and things like that. But I believe that if I had taken nutrition a little bit more serious, I probably could have done a lot better. But all I can do is look forward now and do better now, because I think I'm only halfway through my life.
Yes.
Right. I have a question.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the mental challenge where you're out in the woods by yourself, when you're walking, because I honestly think that a lot of us somewhere somehow know, I gotta do better, I gotta eat better, I gotta exercise, and then it takes us forever to really not just be motivated, but to have the discipline to do it. So I know for sure it's not like I wake up or you woke up and say, okay, I'm gonna do it today. There's a lot of discipline and a lot of challenges, I want to say. So tell me just a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's a good question. A really good question. And the reality is, I would love to complicate it a lot, but it's not very complicated. You just go to the border and you put on your backpack and you carry some food and you start walking, right? Some people, I did 20 miles my first day because I was more prepared than most people, but other people did 8, and then they do 6 and then do 8 and whatever they can. So really it isn't a race. It's really a matter of wanting to spend the time. And they always say that the people that finish that, and I will completely, but the people that do finish, they have a big why. Why am I doing this? Because you are challenged quite a bit in emotionally, you're challenged spiritually, you're challenged physically every day, and you're challenged just by what I call the aloneness. A lot of times you're by yourself, days at a time, and there's nothing louder than absolute silence when you're out in the woods in the middle of the night and you can't see your hand in front of you because it's so dark. But all that, it does you a lot of good, because it forces you to put this down, right? It doesn't work out there. It forces you to really think and look inside of yourself. It forces you to just think about life. What am I doing? What am I, am I headed in the right direction? So really the tough part, like I said, it's not that hard just getting started, because I saw people of all shapes and sizes start the PCT. And it's really, do you have a why that drives you, that forces you to continue going every day? Because like I said, there's almost every day is a hard day, because you're going up and down mountains every day. Just for an example, you're climbing anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 feet, and that's a lot. If you're doing 15, 18, 20 miles, and that's a lot of climbing with weight on your back. And so physically it's brutal. Emotionally it's hard, because you spend a lot of time alone, and if you've never been away from home, the longest I had ever been away from home was 2 weeks on a business trip. But to be gone months at a time, it really gets hard on you to say, why am I doing this? I really miss my family. I miss my kids. I miss my wife. So those are some of the really hard things that are out there. Do you have to be disciplined? Yes. You have to have a why. Why am I doing this? What do I want to get out of this? I always used to ask people, why do you do this? What did you get out of it? And I got some amazing answers, and I'll share one with you.
Yes.
There was a policeman from Montana who finished the PCT 2 years ago, and I was learning from him. And I said, hey, how do you summarize this trip? Because it's a long commitment, and you walk 2,600 miles. And he said to me, Rick, it healed me. Because he had been a policeman for 25 years. Yeah. He had seen a lot of rough humanity. He had arrested a lot of people. He had fought and wrestled and taken a lot of people to jail. And he was just scarred in life. And for him, he needed a healing. Because when you're on a trail, I'll tell you this, on any trail, you need people. Mm. And you need people to help you. You learn to do this on the roads. You learn to hitch rides. You learn to accept, because sometimes you run out of food. Bad planning, or you ate too much. You run out of food, and some people would just come out, and they'll either give you food out of their pack, mm-hmm. or people out of the kindness of their heart, they go to the trail and they do something called trail magic. And they just set up and they say, hey, we're making tacos today for everyone that comes through here. And you're like, man, I'll take 5. But the kindness of people, especially in small towns, mm-hmm. and Lily, you know a lot about small towns in various places you've lived at, but it's just the kindness of people just does nothing but heal you, especially us that are from big cities, where strangers don't talk to each other, where everything's fast, everything's moving at a crazy speed. We all have our faces in our phone. And when you go to small towns, I met a guy that owned a gas station that saw me walking by, and he said, hey, are you a hiker? I said, yeah, I'm a hiker. That's why I have a backpack. But he said, would you like a hot dog? I said, I'd love a hot dog. So 2.5 hours later, we were done with our conversation, because you're like, okay, I got to go do some other. But we just sat there for 2 hours and talked, and he gave me a Coke and a hot dog. And it was just great. I was like, who does that?
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Who just talks to you for 2 hours, just finding out about you, where you're from, and where, why are you doing this? And it's just, those are the kind of things that I experience on the trail, Lily. And it is hard, but you learn a lot and you get a lot. You get a lot out of it. To me, it's just an amazing experience. It's not just the physical part, it's those kind of things. Meeting kind people, receiving rides. I had a couple take me into their home for 2 days. The guy cooked me a steak dinner. It's like, yeah, I'll take it. They took me out to dinner at a restaurant the next day, and then they took me back to the trail. And that's just a sample of what a lot of hikers get. They experience kindness from just beautiful people that are just, they just want to know who you are, because you're from somewhere else. It's really cool.
Yes. Wow. That's amazing. So there is a lot of definitely challenges, but I was thinking for those that we don't get to go into something like that, the challenge really is real, and also it's just about, like you say, you put your backpack and you start. I tell people, on your health journey, if you have to start every day, do it again. If it's got to be every Monday, well, do it on Monday again until you accomplish, until we accomplish few things. It's not an easy journey. Sadly, we don't have a lot of just free education now with social media and all of that. We can do stuff like this and just show real people that are doing things like you. And we are totally inspired by your journey, by your health journey. And we really thank you for sharing all of that with us. It's amazing. So what do you think, Alex?
Yeah. It's definitely a story many people want to hear. I can't put words together about it. It's still hard to fathom. But like you said, you got to take that first step, get into that routine, and make it happen. If you stick to it, it will happen. And part of making that happen was also you with your nutrition. So how after how many years, I would say, after did you take your nutrition seriously or to the next level?
You know, I I've always been okay about my nutrition. You know, I try to have a salad before meals and eat a few pieces of fruit here and there. But for myself, I'm asking a lot physically of my body. When you consider you're running and you're hiking over 1,000 miles, your body can't sustain that. It just won't. So like I said, I've always been pretty good, but I think very early this year, I realized, and when I was going out for a run, that I was in a lot of pain, and I would always just ignore it and say, it'll be fine. I'll warm up. But it really was just not going away, and I was having a hard time getting off the sofa.
Yeah.
My knees, my hips, my ankles, and then I started saying things like, "Well, I've been running for 22 years, and this is the price I'm going to pay. I'm just going to have a lot of pain." And then I would say things like, "Well, I'm 55. I guess everybody gets old, you know. Yeah, I'm getting old. I guess I'll have to find other things to do. You know, I can't go running anymore." And as I was at a triathlon early this year, I mentioned it to my cousin Liz, and I said, and then she said, "Hey, have you talked to Lily? Because she's kind of been on a journey where she's been able to eliminate out a lot of pain." And honestly, I thought, "Oh my God, here we go. They're going to try to sell me something." But but before I go to that, I'll tell you this.
Yeah. Alex,
Lily, I'm a person of faith, and we were early this year. We were also in church, and Sonia had just been, and she was here a minute ago. She walked away, but she'd been in a lot of pain also, just a lot of pain in her body, and we prayed about it. And I wanted to say, I would love to say, "Hey, we prayed about it, and then we walked out of church, and everything was great." But it wasn't. But sometimes prayers get answered in different ways.
Yes.
Right.
I started learning. A sequence of events occurred for me. One of which was I heard an amazing podcast that talked a lot about the human biome and how and you're gonna think this is crazy, but I heard the words that were said: "Our food is killing us. Your food is killing you." And I thought about a day that I was in my office, and because I had gotten into a routine of eating fast food because I was working, I was busy, and then I finished my meal that day, and I thought, "Man, I'm full, but I'm not satisfied. There's something wrong here." So I put that away. And then when Liz told me to talk to Lily about some product that she was selling, I thought, I'm going to be open to it. So when you guys came over and talked to us, I started connecting dots. I was like, the podcast, the fact that food is not satisfying me. Alex is saying food is killing us and we're imbalanced. And I started thinking, man, there's just something here. So 4 months ago, I really started, and I did two things, right? One is I started taking the balanced oil.
Okay.
And, I just by faith, I said, you know what? I'll try it. Yeah. But at the same time, I said, I have a lot of other concerns. And I started more of a plant-based diet. But it wasn't but 2 months later that I said, I'm going to go for a run. And I went for a run, and I was like, I don't have any pain.
Wow.
And I thought, well, it's because I ran really slow. I used to be a lot faster. So 2 weeks later, I'm running faster and further. And then 3 months in, I went and ran a race, a 12-mile race. And I'm like, wow, I feel like I'm 40 years old again.
Nice.
So it's really, this most recent turn of events for me has been one of just miraculous recovery, because and I'm not one to do these things, right? I've always thought running is enough. I don't need anything else. But as you know, what I found is that there was a lot of inflammation in my body, and that's what the pain was coming from. Okay. And the same thing for Sonia, where as she started the plant-based diet and started taking the balanced oil, we both have realized that we had a lot of inflammation in our body, and then we needed to eliminate it, and just treat it and make a change in our life to do something different, because you're never going to get something different doing the same thing, right?
Right.
You're just not. So, like I said, I'd always been kind of half-heartedly good about nutrition, but what I have come away from, what I learned from you, and what I've learned from Rich Roll, what I've learned from others, from my own reading, is processed foods not so good for you.
No.
Red meat, not so good for you. Artificial stuff, not so good for you. And in the name of running, I was just like, I'm going to have it all because I run.
Yeah.
And, as long as I'm not gaining weight, it's okay. But it's not just the weight gain, right? It's it affects every nook and cranny of your body, because it's like putting subpar gasoline in your Porsche or in your high-end car. It's just not a good thing. So for me, 4 months ago, when I started taking this to where I am now, I just tell Sonia every day, my flexibility is incredible. I used to have a hard time 4 months ago, 5 months ago, reaching my toes with my hand. Now I can put my hands on the ground flat, both of them.
Wow.
So I'm more flexible. I don't have pain. I'm running fast again, which is kind of fun. Nice. And I'm really looking forward to going hiking again for an amazingly long trail. So all those things are really, really, really cool. So that's short term. That's been what we've done. And for both Sonia and myself, it's been really, really, really good. And when it's funny, right? Because I've always said, I'm not a salesman. And a lot of times you just realize when something works for you, you can't but share it. So, we've shared it with my mother-in-law, we shared it with my brother-in-law, we share it, and they're all benefiting from it, which is really cool, because that's what we really want. We're like,
exactly.
How about you don't have pain in your body? That's a pretty good deal. So, yeah, I probably said too much, but that's a little bit about kind of where we've been in the last.
That's amazing.
Especially the last four months or so.
Wow. No, we truly appreciate you sharing that with us.
Yeah.
I know.
But yes. Before you go there, but what I said, a lot of times answered prayers don't come in the form of just a miraculous thing right in front of you. You don't get up from the wheelchair. But for me, when I said connected the dots, I started realizing, God is revealing to me what we need to do. Because let's be honest, right? A lot of times we're a little bit overweight and we're like, hey, how can I lose this weight? It's like, you got to eat less, eat healthier sometimes, you have to do something different. It's not just, there is no snapping of fingers and things change. So to me, the connecting of those dots we just took great interest. Thank you for the book that you gave us on nutrition.
Yes.
That was really good because it just also reinforced a lot of what I was hearing through other sources. And I thought, yeah, that one. And I thought, food is it, right? It's the greatest healer. And connecting the dots was just amazing and really a different form of an answered prayer, but just as effective, if not just as effective as anything else, right? Because when you want something, all you care about is, did I get it, right? And we got what we wanted. And I can't share to anybody else that is experiencing pain to try these products, because it's pretty crazy, the change. I don't have to say, "Oh, I'm getting old" anymore. I'm like, oh wait, I love going out the front door for a run.
Yes.
I have to tell you, in my heyday, I was running 40 to 50 miles a week. I'm up to 30 now, but I feel good, and I'm just being careful because I still don't believe it. Right? I don't want to overdo it and then just hurt myself. But it's really good to just ramp up slowly and get back to where I was. But like I said, I feel incredibly well, and so does Sonia.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome to know. That's awesome to hear. And it's awesome that there's so many out there that I know need to hear this. There is hope. One of the things that we do through this is precisely to bring hope to those that are thinking, oh, we can't, there's nothing else, I tried everything. No. And believe me, there is hope, and there is still this one more thing you can try.
Definitely.
And for some of us, you said it right. You said it very clear and well. For some of us, in my case, it's like, this is a miracle of life, like a second chance for me, and I'm loving it. So we can't help it but to talk about it, and with people that are doing health stuff to share with everybody else.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Definitely. Thank you, Rick. I truly appreciate that. The audience, you're getting a lot of positive responses here. More people are chiming in. Erica from Edinburgh, Angela's on, Jasmine's tuning in. Some people are curious. Did you or Sonia take a test? If so, do you mind sharing? And if you do mind, it's okay. It is confidential.
It's interesting is, to me, we both took a test and we both sent it in, and they were both pretty, I think what you call imbalanced, and in need of a change. But to me, that wasn't news, right? It was like, there's just something wrong in my body. The test revealed it. Although I don't feel like I needed it to tell me. I think you encouraged us to do it anyway, just so that we can see a before and after. We need to do the after. But honestly, 4 months ago, I couldn't run. I could barely get off the sofa because I was just in such pain. For those of you that know a little bit about running, on Thursday this week, I went out and ran 5 7.5-minute miles, which is pretty fast for most people, but especially for a 55-year-old. And then Saturday, I followed that up with a 10-mile run at an easy pace. And then Sunday, I followed that up with a recovery run for 5 miles. So I am, really enjoying running again. Yes. I believe that I'm going to be running a really, really fast marathon in January. Okay. We took a test. We need to close the loop on that. And the test is just going to say that we're doing a lot better and that inflammation has left our body because the reality of life demands it, that it say that.
Well, this is the test right here. It's quite remarkable. It pulls up a 20-page report on your diet, your health. It does tell you what you need more of or less of. There's recommendations. 6 main categories. Your omega-6-3 balance is one of them. Also, it talks about if your cells are protected, if they're weak, if they're strong, if you're getting the proper fats for proper brain function. Now, getting into balance, there's many health benefits for cardiovascular, your red blood cells, your vision, hair, nails. There's much, much more to it. Your skin health, bones, joints, you name it. And Rick, he took this step to get into balance. He's still on his balance journey. Also with the nutrition and everything. I do look forward to hearing more about this journey, and I want to have you on again and again and again because people are loving what you're saying. You're getting a lot of likes, a lot of love, a lot of hearts. So one more question that I do have from here. I don't know if Lily has some more, but I do want to hear, what is bonus time? Can you elaborate a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yes.
Oh my God, that is so awesome that you asked that. Bonus time, Sonia's always makes. She's. I had when I went on the PCT, I started a YouTube channel, and you can find me at Bonus Time on the PCT. Nice. And see some of my videos out there. But bonus time comes from a very significant event in my life. On June 15th of this year, 6 years ago, on June 15th, 6 years ago, I fell off the roof of my house, about 20 feet high. And I probably should have died. Several doctors told me that anyway. They said, son, I'm not sure how you're alive, because I have a big cut in my forehead. Okay. I cut my forehead. You can't see me. I destroyed my arm. I've got very bad scarring, or not bad scarring, but I got scars in my arm. I destroyed my arm. I have 2 rods going down my arm here. To keep it together, or it did at the time. And then I broke ribs and all kinds of things. Anyway, it was a bloody mess. They took me to the hospital in an ambulance, and they operated me within hours. But incredibly, the very next day in the evening, I walked out, and I was lamenting at the time that I would never run again or run well. I reached out to a friend of mine. Her name is Rebecca Wells here in Houston, because she had gone through colon cancer and she had had her own health journey. And I said, I'm going to reach out to her. Maybe she'll make me feel better by feeling sorry for me. But she really actually just kicked me in the butt and she said, Rick, what are you complaining about? She said, you should have died, and you didn't. The rest of your life is bonus. It's a bonus time. You should enjoy your children every day and kiss them every day, because you're on bonus time. You shouldn't be here. And that's where bonus time comes from. And so I've adopted that as my trail name out on the trail. And so every day is bonus time for me. That's why you see me smile real big most of the time, because I'm on borrowed time. I'm on bonus time. I'm on extra time with my wife, with my children, with my family. And that's why I went ahead and retired when I did, because I thought, I'm going to go do some crazy stuff. I tell Sonia, what's the name of the mountain? Yeah, I'm going to go climb Mount Everest. I'm going to go finish the PCT. I'm going to take a van all the way up to Alaska. I'm just going to do, it's bonus time. I am on borrowed time. So to me, it just reminds me when I'm out on trail and hiking that every day is a bonus for me. It's extra. And then getting in really good health helps when you're out doing these crazy things, right? Yeah. So for me, I needed a solution for what I really am passionate about, and that's physical stuff. That's climbing mountains. That's running marathons, things like that. So this getting into balance with my omegas 3 and 6 and things like that, it's just it's a godsend for me. But that's where bonus time comes from. And but if you want to look me up, you can find me on Bonus Time on the PCT on YouTube, and you'll find some interesting videos, at least about my hike.
All right.
So you have so many beautiful views out there on those videos and pictures. And it is amazing. So I do want to thank you for sharing your journey and doing all of that. It inspired us and inspired many as you do these things. And that's what we want here. We want to be able to inspire others to change and to, just take that one step that is needed every single day, just one little step. Who would have thought I was going to be doing some of these health things 3 years ago? But I had to go through difficult time to value what I'm doing now, a godsend thing as well. So thank you so much. I enjoy a lot what you're sharing. But I have enjoyed a lot all of your journey with the views and beautiful posts that you have. Very inspirational.
Thank you. That's awesome. I'm glad to be able to share. It's a privilege to be able to share with you guys and with your followers. And I want to thank you. We don't do that enough, right? It's like, hey, I'm buying stuff from you. So, but I just want to thank you. You guys. You made a trip to Houston to talk to me about this, me and Sonia, and the return on that investment of your time has been 1,000-fold.
Wow.
I'm an emotional person, and especially since I almost died, and I'm like, if you can laugh or cry every day, it's been a good day. But what you did for my wife, and for me, and for my dad, and for my mother-in-law, and the many others who are benefiting from this amazing. You guys are like sharing good news, and I just want to thank you for what you're doing. And you're not selling product; you're helping people meet a need that we have. So, I don't want this time to be up without me expressing that for Sonia and myself, because it's a life changer. It's not just like this is something, a little pastime that we have. It absolutely changes our life and the way we live it and the way we enjoy it. And I tell Sonia, I feel like I'm 40 years old again, and as I run out the door, or as I prepare for the next hike, or as I, think of other things that we want to go do. I just drove my daughter to San Diego. It's a 24-hour drive, and I would not been able to have done that a year ago because my back and hip and knees would have hurt too much. And when I got there, I went for a run every day I was there, because I don't know if I was in Texas. I don't know if everybody knows, but it's 70 degrees every day in San Diego with low humidity. So it's pretty nice to be able to go for a run. And so every day I was there, pretty much I went for a run because it was just so nice. And that's after sitting in a car for 24 hours in a U-Haul truck. So to me, I couldn't have done that for her if it wasn't for making this change in what I'm doing, which has led to a big change in how I feel and how Sonia feels. So I know you didn't ask me to share that or anything else that I said, but I wanted to make sure that I thanked you too for what you're doing, and I hope you continue to do it because it's just meeting need. And I like your balanced approach. It's not just, hey, go take this. I have my book here, right? You said, hey, it's about food. It's about the output of what you're eating is what's happening in your body. It's so it's not just, hey, go do this and you don't have to do anything else. I think you get the optimal result when you put the most into it and really wanting to change some things. So it's been pretty awesome.
Thank you.
we have an amazing team of people, group of people that have benefited and they're seeing results. And it's very exciting to hear them share with other people. Like, we took a trip with Robert and he invited us, hey, let's go to Houston. So we ended up in your house. We had dinner, these amazing things. But it was their concern or inspiration to be able to share this, with you guys. It's amazing that we got to do that, to get to this point, and then now you guys are sharing that as well. It is sharing life. I always tell people we're sharing good news and sharing life. And so there is hope for those that think that there's nothing else. I've been under this sickness forever and I'm going to die. There's no such. We have to do something today. So we've been watched, Rick, so many. I think I was watched for like 3 years by different people. They were just watching what I was doing, and something was happening because I come from diagnosis of dying and a lot of craziness. But when the changes were happening, it was like a reset for myself, like you're saying. All of a sudden I feel like I'm 30 again, 35, okay, about 40.
Okay, 40.
Okay, 40, in my 40s, because just, being able to say at my age, I'm 54, say, hey, I don't feel 54. Most people say, okay, at this age, is that or because of age. It's really more because there's a change that our body is asking us to do. So that's where the discipline and the doing something on a constant basis. Most people say, a lot of people say, well, this don't work. That didn't work for me. That didn't work. But if you do something on a constant basis, for me, it's been amazing to just take a spoon and a half of what I'm taking on a daily basis. And that's the hard part. Woohoo! So if that's what changed my life, I will continue to do these the rest of my life. That spoon and a half every night, and just a couple of other things, and that's it. So I know that I can walk on optimal levels of health. So I'm amazed and honored that you share all of that with us tonight. And thank you so much. Say hi to your beautiful wife.
Thank you, definitely. Definitely.
You say hi to her. Hey. And that's Sonia, and this is Lucy. This is our baby Lucy. All our kids are grown up and moved out, but we have Lucy now.
Awesome.
She's adorable.
This is amazing. It's amazing. Thank you again, Rick. I know there's going to be hundreds of people that are going to re-watch this or catch up on the live. There's thousands and thousands of views that we do get. Any last words you want to tell to the audience or share with anybody here before you get off?
Oh, man. I'll finish with what I started earlier, which is it's a holistic approach. I love the product. I take Viva also, which really helps me sharpen my mind and my thoughts. But I take the balance oil. But it's a holistic approach. I would say, in addition to the product, there it is. I've started a plant-based diet, and I've always thought, what a bunch of weirdos, people who are vegans or plant-based, and it's been pretty amazing. It's been really good for us. It's been really, really good for us. I would say be holistic about everything, and I talked earlier about the pillars of life, right? Whether it's your financial life, your professional life, your spiritual life, and then of course your health. And really it's a balance of all those things. We talked about balance oil, but we're addressing our physical need. We have physical need, we have spiritual needs, we have financial needs, we have educational. And I think the balance of all those things for me is just very important but when one of them's out of balance, in this case for me it was physical, it doesn't matter everything else, how much education you have. It doesn't matter how good your job is, because you get thrown out of balance, and all of a sudden getting well becomes very important. It doesn't matter how educated or how much you're earning or anything else. And it's the same thing with spiritual life. Your spiritual life is out of balance, and nothing else matters because, well, things are not well. So for me, it's about that. It's about taking a holistic approach to everything in life. And then within this, to take a holistic approach to go, if you're not walking, go out for a walk, start with a block and then add up to a mile and then maybe work a little trot. So I think it's important to be active. It's important to eat well, and it's important to balance yourself and to address your biome, because everything that we've done since most of us were born has been contributing to a poor result, which really manifests itself in primarily inflammation. And inflammation generally is a good thing because it helps us, like when you get you're bleeding, and it helps you to stop the bleeding. It's actually a good thing, but too much inflammation then turns into pain. So that's the thing I would say is be holistic, be complete. Nobody's going to wave a magic wand and make you well. So eat well, exercise and take the product, because it will absolutely help you, and it has really changed us. I'm somebody who's just running a lot, and that's just not enough. You have to be in balance, and from the omega-3, omega-6 perspective, or else it doesn't matter how much you go out for a run, you're going to be in a lot of pain. So thank you so much again. I appreciate you guys. I've already thanked you, but thank you again.
Well, thank you, Rick. Great to have you on.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's a lot of positive responses. We're going to get a ton more, I'm sure. Thank you. We'll have you on again if you're up for it.
I'd love to come back. Maybe when I finish the PCT, I'm going to go out next year and hopefully hike those last 1,400 miles all the way up to the Canadian border. Get on a bus and a train and head back home, but victorious. But I'd love to be back at some point and just tell you another great story.
Great. One last time, what's your YouTube channel for everybody who's watching?
Yeah, BonusTime. It's all one word. BonusTime on the PCT. PCT is an abbreviation for the Pacific Crest Trail. So BonusTime on the PCT. Check it out. There's a lot of good videos out there. Melissa, my daughter, helped me put those together. Just real quick, the process was I would take my phone and I would take pictures and video, and I would upload them to a Google Drive, and then Melissa would package it all together into a video. So I don't want you to think I was doing that while I was hiking, but we're putting those out every week. It was a lot of fun. And, that's being a creator is fun too, right? Because you're doing something. I've never been a creative person, so creating video, creating content, it's stretch yourself. Go do something you've never done, whether that's walking a mile or creating a video or things like that. It's just a lot of fun. So anyway, it's something I really enjoy doing. So check it out. Go check one out. If you like it, watch some more. If you don't, I appreciate it. I don't get anything out of it either way.
Great. Thank you again. Thank you.
All
appreciate
right.
you, Rick.
See you guys. Be blessed.
Thank
you
you.
too. Likewise. Thank you. All right. That is amazing. We're live here still with Rick. Rick, such a humble guy, very smart, and wow, a 20-plus year journey on his health. BonusTime, that's amazing. And then for his transition with nutrition, just within the last several months, wow, that's absolutely amazing. Just simply getting into balance and taking the test. Wow.
Which is probably one of these days need to load up a vehicle, go back over there and have a bigger meeting where he can share with Robert and Liz with us and those that want to go, and we make it a big party to celebrate life, to celebrate health, to celebrate the bonus time and that a lot of us are experiencing, extra time. And so it was pretty amazing to hear his story. I'm sure that he has a lot more to share in this. and on his experiences. But it was amazing that he gave us this time. It's really, really an amazing moment for us.
We got a lot of positive responses from many people in the Valley, friends, family. Bonus time. You're a great inspiration. Yes, this is life-changing. People are using the Viva. It's great. Real quick, the balance concept. Get back to the person who invited you to this live, this Facebook. You can also watch prior to this Facebook Live. We have a few videos, lives that we did on the balance concept itself. You can learn more about omega-6-3 and the modern lifestyle foods and how it's affecting the human body and what 6-3 balance can do for you at the cellular level and what it's done for Rick, his wife, his whole family. It's absolutely amazing. It's impacted my life, including the Vivas, the Xenobiotic. It's impacted your life, Lily, and many people that we've been talking to. But like Rick said, we're not out here to push products. We're not out here to just sell people. It's more to that. And we truly are changing many lives. And you can prove it with the test. Take one before you start using the supplements. Later, 4 months down the line, after your red blood cells rejuvenate, you take a second test, compare your before and after results, and you can see how much you improve, and you can monitor yourself with this test every 4 months. So, any last words, Lily, before we hop off here?
Well, we're having a live on Thursday.
Yes, we are.
Monday and Thursday in English as well, and eventually we're going to also add another evening for Spanish. So that's another thing that I'm really excited about. So, but Thursday, what time on Thursday?
Yes, put us in your calendar. This Thursday, this is going to be our very first Facebook Live for Thursday. So that's bonus time. We got a very special guest that's going to be on, Javier Roger, and you're going to want to hear from him. You're going to want to hear from him. If you want to get fit, you want to get healthy, you want to learn what to do, how to do it, he's the guy to talk to. He's the guy to hear from. And he's going to inspire me, you, and everybody else that's going to be on here. But I'm excited to have him on, to hear his story, his background, his journey. I mean, there's lots to come. So thank you guys. And we will catch you this Thursday. All right.
Yay! Bye.